Welcome everyone to another vlog. I'm Angie and this is Angie's Eclectic Art. And on this channel I showcase my art journey. And I'm just sitting here thinking about this past year and reflecting on it and my journey so far. It's snowing here in Alaska right now. We begin to snow every other day, which has been wonderful to look at, horrible to drive in, but it's all good. And I'm just reflecting on the things that have happened to me as far as this self-taught art journey of mine over the past year. And I wanted to share with you all 5 things that I've learned in the past year of this journey that I'm on, all of the ups and the downs and the mistakes and the revelations and the excitement. But yeah, I started doing art in the fall of 2024 as a way of occupying my time here in Alaska with the longer nights and the shorter days. And now it's become a little bit of an obsession of mine that I love. I don't see myself not doing art now, which is a wonderful thought. And at the same time, I think about what or where I'm going to go next with my art. So let's talk about my top 5 things that I have learned. The first thing that I would probably put on that list, it will be finding inspiration. Living in Alaska, I get a lot of inspiration, and I also travel a lot. So the places that I've been all over the world have brought me inspiration now in my art. I see things a lot differently now. I'm a photographer by trade, so I take pictures, and that's a whole different perspective as opposed to painting, but it has enhanced my photography as well. So painting has enhanced my photography. I am inspired by nature mainly in the world. I'm inspired by people and animals, and just every little thing inspires me now. I've been teaching myself to be more inspired by the smaller details of things and not just look at the big picture, because the small details matter as well. I feel that when I'm creating and I'm painting, that the inspiration comes just by putting the paint onto the canvas. I might not start off inspired, but as soon as I start, it creates inspiration for me and helps me to be able to just dive in. But I do pull inspiration from other places, such as YouTube. I have some people that I follow on YouTube, such as Brooke Cromay and Molly's art. Cam does it. There's a few women that actually bring me inspiration. They all do all of these different types of art, but they all inspire me and my art journey as well. So I kind of pull inspiration from different places and kind of just bring that into my world, and then create my own little niche of what I feel my art should be. So I do get inspiration from everywhere, and inspiration is key in creating, because if you're not inspired to do it, then why would you do it? So that is number 1 of the 5 things that I've learned. I've learned to look at the smaller details and draw inspiration from places that I normally wouldn't draw inspiration from. The second thing that I've learned from this past year is that perception is everything. And just because I don't like something doesn't mean that the next person is not going to like it, or vice versa. There have been paintings that I have created that I thought were so nice, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. If I post this, it's gonna sell, you know. with that confidence, like, because I viewed it as being the most perfect piece ever. And then I show it to friends and they're like, well, what do you think about changing this and make it look like that? And so perception is everything. I feel that sometimes imposter syndrome kind of comes into play, and I feel that because I am self-taught and I'm not this professional artist, that nobody's going to take me seriously, and so the perception upon myself sometimes is not good, and I feel it can bleed out and affect others. So if you're not confident in what you do, you can't hold a positive perspective on everything that you do, because you're not going to like everything, right? I have pictures that are just sitting in the closet because I'm like, I don't want to show these to anyone. This past November, I did my very first art and craft festival, and I pulled out some of those paintings, like, well, I'm gonna just put them up to see, and one of them sold. And I was like so excited. So again, perception is everything, and we got to take that into account, that what we see is going to be different from what someone else sees, and we need to be kinder to ourselves about what we're doing, because it is a learning process. You are learning new techniques. You're learning to do things in a different way. You're using a different part of your brain, so to speak, and you can't be so down on yourself, because what you might love, someone might hate, and what you absolutely hate and think is hideous, someone might think is absolutely beautiful. And that has happened for me in both photography and in acrylic painting. So that's the second thing what I learned, is perception is everything, and perception can change. It is a moving part. I have had paintings that I'm like, that one's okay, but I don't know. And then a week later, I'm like, you know what? I actually like the way that that looks. The composition is better than what I thought. So yeah, perception is everything. The third thing that I will talk about is self-sabotage. And that self-sabotage is something, I don't know, that we do to ourselves that makes no sense to me, but I understand it. And it comes not just from, it comes from many places. It comes from our upbringings, it comes from traditions, it comes from trauma that we have suffered, and it comes from doubt and insecurities and places like that. So it kind of works with the whole imposter syndrome thing, like, I don't think that I belong here, I'm not good enough to be here, and all of those little thoughts in our head that say that we're not good enough. And so I learned that I was doing that to myself, and that I needed to be kinder to myself, that not everyone is going to like me, not everyone is going to appreciate me or my art. And I learned that, unfortunately, your friends, your true friends, are going to be your biggest cheerleaders, but at the same time, you can't depend on them to help you in your business. I learned that recently. You know, I put things out, and I always try to support other small artists, and whether they're my friends or not, I try to support them the best that I can, and that might not always be monetarily, might not be me buying something, but if I have the money and they have something out, I'm gonna buy it. If they need that support, that sideline support, I'm here for them. Like, yeah, you got this, you got this. You know, I'm always going to be that girl to support. But I did learn that not everyone is going to support you, and sometimes they don't want you to win. and they may say something or do something that makes you doubt yourself. And then that allows you to create this false sense of insecurity. And that leads to self-sabotage, to where you're doubting yourself and you don't feel that you belong and it's not your place. But I have learned now that I don't care. I just put things out. I love to create art. I have learned that I love to do that. And I don't care what anybody thinks. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what makes me happy. And I'm going to show myself the respect and the empathy and compassion that I show others. So I've been working a lot. Self-sabotage is something that takes a minute for you to kind of get yourself out of that feeling and into the feeling of, I'm good enough. My paintings are good enough. My photography is good enough. I am good enough. So you have to say that to yourself every day. And I think the more that you do something, the more confident you feel doing it. So me painting or trying to paint every day are all acts of self-care and self-love. And so I've been trying to do more of that, creating routines and things like that. But I think that self-sabotage is something that I have learned to try to heal myself from. But I know that it is a day-by-day journey to be able to be really confident in who you are and what you do, because you're worth it. Number 4 is letting go. And I think letting go kind of works with the self-sabotage thing, because once you allow yourself to not feel that way anymore and begin to get the confidence, you begin to let go of all the perceived notions of the things that you don't think fit your journey or your path, your agenda. And for me, in the art world, I've always had a camera. Since I was 14, I've had a camera. So I've always been taking pictures. And not all of my pictures are wonderful pictures. Sometimes they're out of focus and the subject matter is not working with the composition. And, and I learned in acrylic pour painting that composition does matter. And so, it doesn't always work out, but I have learned, and I'm still learning, that letting go is key to moving forward in a positive way, because you can't control it. We have to let go of those things that we can't control. I can't control the fact that I'm clumsy and I spill my paint. It's just something that happens. The paint, I spill my paint. I don't know. I can't help the fact that sometimes when I pour, my cells don't look good. They look really weird and wonky, but I can't control it. I can do things to guide myself, to prepare myself and prepare my paints better so that it doesn't happen as often, but I can't control it. There's things in life that we just cannot control, and we have to learn to let go of those things and let go of the stigma that we put upon ourselves when it comes to creative arts. Because I feel that everyone thinks that there's a certain way that you need to do something in the art world. There's a certain way you need to paint. There's a certain way you need to prep your canvas. There's a certain way you need to varnish. There's all of these rules and that people have created, but I think that there aren't any. So I'm letting go of all of that and all of the constraints, and I'm allowing myself to have fun, because I like art. It's fun. I love doing it, and I love painting abstract art. I love creating mountains and textures and colors and the mixing of the paint. I love all of those things. So I have learned that I need to let go of the thought that I can't do it and then I'm going to mess it up, because I'm gonna mess it up, but it's gonna be okay and it'll work out, and it always does. So I think kind of number 3 with self-sabotage and number 4 of letting go work together hand in hand. But that is the 4th thing that I have learned as a creative artist and on this self-taught journey of art. And number 5, and I think one of the most important things about my self-taught art journey has been to continue to create, even when I don't want to. And there's days when I get out of bed and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. But I've been creating these routines that incorporate art into them. And that is in the morning, I get up, I make some tea, I pull out my journal, light a candle, and get that ambiance going. And I journal a little bit. And then before I turn on TV or look at my phone, I bring out my sketchbook and I sketch something for about 15 minutes. And that gets me in the mood to either continue and create other art, or it allows me to stretch my mind and continue to work towards that goal of creating art on a daily basis and being a full-time artist. So you have to create even when it doesn't feel good, even when you're tired, when you're grumpy, when you feel like you don't have the time. You always have the time to do something that you love. And I get it. We have these busy lives. We have to work. We have our children. We have our husbands. We have our family. We have our friends. We have all of these things going on. But we have to make time for ourselves. And if creating art is something that you want to do, you have to make the time to do it, even when you're tired. And I hope that you do, that you get out there and you create art, and that you do the things that you love the most. And I'm so happy that you guys have watched this vlog. And if you have watched it to the end, please leave me a comment, something about your art journey or your journey in life. I would love to hear it in the comments. Don't forget to like and to subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Get outside, breathe fresh air, pick up your art brush, draw something, paint something, live, love, and be present. And again, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.